if you remove the guns from the people that should have them, you take them away from the good people, or if you ban them as they did in the United Kingdom, and certainly in London, does that actually stop bad people from carrying out bad acts or attempting to with any other means necessary? The question may be easy and the answer obvious, but Tim, as founder and president of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association, I'll let you speak for yourself.
Hello, David, and thanks for having me on the show again. Well, to me, this is about as easy a question as it gets, because clearly, of course, it doesn't change it. I mean, bad people are bad people, and they're going to do evil things with whatever tools they can find. And there's a lot of people in the United States, and quite frankly, all across the world, that fall into this delusion that they think that, hey, if we just make a piece of plastic or a piece of metal or a gun illegal, it will magically disappear. Well, guess what? We have 300 million firearms in the United States alone. They're not going anywhere. And the neat thing, David, is that the majority of the people that own those firearms, they do good things with them. They protect their families, they protect their loved ones. And so all of these laws that all of these do-gooders, these feel-good politicians want to pass, all they do, just like you said, is take the guns out of the hands of the good people.
Yeah, look, yesterday I sat there and looked around, really nice gun club in Florida. Like, none of them got up and did anything on their own. I just can't put it any more plainly than that. They were all just laying there, waiting for someone. This is a serious issue, however, and sometimes you have to use a little bit of sarcasm to mock the left because it's just ridiculous at times. But now we have this bill before Congress, the Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act of 2017. Our very own Kerry Pickett interviewed Representative Richard Hudson, who's been sponsoring, who not only sponsored this bill, but for years has worked to get this through Congress. And certainly in the House, this looks like it has potential support to get it over the line with about 213 or more co-sponsors at this time. National reciprocity, how important is it to safety?
David, it's very important to safety. One of my favorite sayings is, and I guess you're going to agree with me here, is the only thing that can stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. And right now we've got about 30 states that do a really good job of allowing their citizens to carry concealed. But unfortunately, there's a bunch of states that don't do a very good job, and quite frankly, that's unconstitutional. The Second Amendment of our Constitution talks about, right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And so by telling a person where and when they can't carry the gun, that makes no sense. So I love this concealed carry reciprocity law. It's going to get the firearms into more hands of people that we want to have them, the good guys. It's going to stop crime.
Now, a part of this legislation, Tim, is the NICS fix that's being discussed. And I want to, the representative spoke clearly about this. So to paraphrase what he said, this doesn't put the federal government in charge. The states are still effectively in charge, as they've always been. And that means that we don't have the arm and weight of government coming down with a national, for better lack of a better term, a national database that can be used in a bad way. Where do you stand on that? Where do you stand on this issue? Because it's been mischaracterized by many.
Correct. Yeah. House Bill 38, yes, it does make a few minor changes in the NICS system. Quite frankly, I personally think that it's like, they're unicorn changes in the sense that they're not going to make a hill of beans worth of difference. But from our perspective, the good news is that, no, they don't create some national database. I mean, this is not a national concealed carry law, if you will. It's really just forcing all the states to recognize the other states, just like we do with driver's licenses. So in terms of the NICS fix, hey, if the folks on the Hill want to say they're going to fix some sort of a national instant background check, then I'm fine with them saying that, because I know for a fact that's not going to make a difference.
Right, and the fact is, one of the things, or not the fact, but one of the things I see that's needed here is technology being used for, frankly, faster response. And not that it's not pretty fast as it is, but let's improve and let's secure the systems. A caller yesterday brought up a newspaper in, I believe it was in Maine. I remember they published. They got a hold of the list and published all the CCP holders in the state or something to that effect. Legal action should have followed that. That paper and those people who did this and those editors should have been dealt with civilly or criminally.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's a complete abrogation of their privacy rights, and that doesn't make any sense. And if we look at this picture on a bigger perspective, I mean, concealed carry reciprocity just makes sense. I mean, ever since 1987, when concealed carry first came in Florida, all of the lefties, all the anti-gunners were just deathly afraid of gunfights in the streets and every single fender bender turning into a gunfight. But that has not happened at all. Quite frankly, it's been just the opposite. And so this reciprocity law is going to keep more families safer. It's going to stop more crimes. It's going to stop more assaults and rapes. It's good for the country. And I just can't believe some of the things the left is saying about this.
What about the opposition from the Democrats? And, arguably it's not just the Democrats, but while this bill faces still a tough vote, you got to get over the line in the House. It's likely to do that. The Senate is a big challenge for this. And it's not just Democrats, as I said, it's Republicans and Democrats in the Senate who, for whatever reason, and in combined reasons, will go against this.
Yeah, and to me, that's so disappointing. I mean, how can you call yourself a Republican and not be willing to support the Second Amendment, to not be willing to support really natural-born rights of self-defense that are simply affirmed by the Second Amendment? And so I'll tell you what, my 3 million subscribers, they're going to be hearing quite a bit from me in terms of, hey, talk to your senator, reach out to him, make sure that they're voting properly on this bill.
Tim Schmidt on the line with me, founder and president of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association. Going forward, let's take this scenario for a moment, Tim. We get this through the House, the Senate, the president signs it. It's going to be challenged. There's going to be judge shopping. It's the environment we're in. Judicial policy making will attempt to get involved. I say, if that happens, let it go to the Supreme Court. Nobody can judge the court, but I think on the Constitution, the Second Amendment is clear. What say you?
I couldn't agree more. And the Supreme Court has already upheld some great decisions with respect to McDonald versus Chicago. And I think that's exactly the way we should do it, because this is about a natural-born, constitutionally affirmed right. And it's when you really think about what you're doing here is you're empowering people to protect and defend their families, and that's what the USCCA is all about. We're out there to create more educated, responsibly armed citizens, which is good for the entire country, even people that don't carry guns, because when more people carry guns, more good guys carry guns, the criminals, they don't want to commit crimes.
Yeah, I think it's Vermont. I can never remember which state it is. There's a town that has 95% of our residents are armed. You guess which 5% are not. There's a billboard there. I always like that. I don't know if it's still up, but always found that to be a good way to put a fine point on it. Tim, thanks for joining me this morning.
My pleasure, David. Take care.
Tim Schmidt, president and founder of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association, their website, usconcealedcarry.com, calling on Congress to do the right thing with the concealed carry reciprocity bill that is now going up for a vote in the House, and then, if successful, moves on to the Senate. 866-95-PATRIOT.